Well, we have arrived at the last module of the semester. This is a long module. You have 3 weeks to complete everything in it. And even though the semester seems, in theory, it's really close to being here, the end of it is almost here, to me it still feels like a really steep mountain that we all have to climb to get to the end. And you may feel the same way. I know that a lot of education classes, especially for undergraduates, have a lot of projects in the end. And something that I did tonight before opening this module, and I apologize for taking a while opening this module, one of the assignments in it, the unit plan modification, my intention was that it was going to be a much more challenging, time-consuming assignment. And I don't mean that that was my design goal, that you had a time-consuming assignment, but there were some things I wanted you to do that would have been time-consuming. And no matter how I sliced it, it just ended up that I needed to simplify it. So I think I simplified it. I think that the assignment went from being a 10 or 12-hour kind of, ordeal, I guess you could say, to being maybe a 1 to 2 hour type of assignment. And it's gonna tie up some of the things that we've started talking about with understanding by design. Hopefully it'll allow you to think about technology integration and just take another step with that. And it will tie in maybe a little bit with the assistive technology stuff that we did in the last module. So I try to simplify it because I know that a lot of undergraduate classes get nuts in the end. You have 3 weeks to do all this stuff. I think that you'll be able to manage it. I don't think my class will be one of the most stressful that you've got going this semester because the load here is not too bad. Now, with that said, the checklist looks like a lot. But basically the final portfolio is the wiki you've been working on all semester. So if you've been posting your assignments regularly up there, then all you have to do now with those assignments is write a brief reflection at the bottom. So on each assignment page there's a reflection section, and there's several questions, and you'll be writing a little reflection about each assignment. On that wiki there's that page on, it's called My Technology Integration. That's something I asked you to look at a few modules back. Maybe you went in and you started filling that out. Could be that you're halfway done, maybe you're 80% done, or maybe you already finished that page. It's another page you're going to want to do. The unit plan modification, that will probably take you, a couple of hours to do at the most. If you're a speech language pathology major, you might consider doing the alternative. So there's an extra thing in there in the checklist that doesn't apply to everybody. The Module 6 alternative for SLP majors, that's a discussion board that SLP majors can do instead of the unit plan modification assignment. SLPs, if you're going to end up in K-12 schools, if that's where you're headed, then you might consider doing the unit plan modification assignment. And then I have a section here on wrapping up in other areas. You may recall that we've got 2 quizzes that have been open all semester long. The quiz on the National Educational Technology Standards for Teachers and the quiz on the Georgia Technology Plan. The NETS-T one, it's a 5-question quiz. Basically, you need to read those standards, be familiar with them, and then go in and take that quiz. And beware, if you get certain answers the first time around and some of them are wrong, don't think the answer is going to be the same the second time around. I think I have it so that it scatters them around, and last semester one student got a little bit upset about that, but she wasn't reading the questions. She was just plotting in the A, B, C, or D, and that wasn't going to work. So make sure you read the question before you answer, even on a second attempt, because of that scramble feature. That's so annoying, I know, but I have it set to do that. So don't forget you have those 2 short quizzes. On the Georgia Tech plan, you can actually I encourage you, I don't want you to read that whole thing. It's a long PDF, it's like 100 pages long. You need to use the search feature in the PDF to locate some of the questions that I'm asking about. So it's actually kind of it's a little bit of your searching skills are going in. So if the question asks about assistive technologies, well, you might type in the word assist or assistive as a search term, and then I want you to skim that document using search terms and not read the whole thing, because you don't have time to read the whole thing probably, and you don't need to either. it's good to skim that document and just be aware that it exists and know the kinds of things that it talks about. The OOPS Dropbox, if you haven't used it, just submit it empty, or you can write no thanks in the OOPS Dropbox and then submit it empty, and that's fine. I'm going a little out of order here. I just skipped something. The quiz on TK20 info acknowledgement. What you want to do is you want to open, this is an extra credit thing, and it's my way of just telling you everything I know about TK20 and this class. There is no relationship between TK20 and this class in that there's no artifacts from this class going into TK20. So I'm not going into TK20 to check your work or anything like that. I'm not making you put anything up in TK20. That doesn't happen in this class at this time. But I go ahead and give you, you know, kind of a video where I talk about inside of the quiz. You have to open up the quiz to access this video that I've made where I talk about ways in which you can archive the work you've done in this class in case you need to put it in TK20 later. You just never know. What if they ask you, what if you were asked or required to put something from this class into TK20? What if they decide in 2 years that for your program that has to happen? I can't predict whether that will happen. I haven't been told that will happen, but I know it could. So my video is all about how you can save your work for this class so that you're ready if somebody says, hey, you remember that MEDC 34-1 class? Well, you have to have 2 artifacts from that in TK20. Well, you'll be like, okay, I'll go find that because, you know, I did some stuff. I did some backing up of my work. So that's what that's about. The TK20 quiz is completely optional. You don't have to watch my long video. I have too many long videos, I know. All right, and then summative feedback. Complete Progress Video Journal 3. Include your thoughts on how the course went overall, and submit that to your Progress Video Journal page on your wiki, and then submit that link, that wiki link, to your the Progress Video Journal Dropbox. Now, some of you have already done that, and that's okay. We're now getting to the point where I'm actually going to grade all of those, like input a numerical grade. So most of them haven't been submitted yet, but some of them have. Another optional sort of extra credit thing is course survey acknowledgement. Go in there, there's a quiz. You can open it up and you can take the quiz as many times as you need to take it until you feel you understand. So one of the answers will give you some extra credit, the other answer won't, but you can retake it and retake it till you feel like you understand. And if you don't understand how to take your course evaluations in this class, then you can send me a message. But like I tell you in there, I think I tell you to contact the Distance and Distributed Education Center because they're the people who run the end of course surveys. So you can contact some technical folks on campus as well that can actually help you get in and that kind of thing. But let me explain that about the extra credit piece. You're only getting extra credit for acknowledging that you understand the process of taking the course surveys in class. It's not about whether you took the course survey. I'm not giving you extra credit for taking it. That's a separate thing. I hope you'll do that because that feedback is invaluable. I have to read that feedback and I have to make changes to my class. I have to show my supervisor, my department chair, how I'm taking my feedback. I have to compile it all and analyze it and use it to improve the course. And so I hope that you'll fill out that feedback and let me know how I did, and let me know if there's ways in which you think the class can be improved, because I do read it and I do make changes based on it. And I am slated to make a change to this class, like a major overhaul in the next year. So those are 2 separate things. One is just extra credit for just showing me that you understand how to do the course evaluations. The course evaluations themselves, it's something that you'll have to go outside of CourseDen to do. You click on a link, and I think you log in with the same login that you use for MyEWG and Blackboard. The login system is a little bit strange on campus. So that's about it for the Module 6 checklist. You'll be hearing other announcements from me this module, so I'm going to try to shut it down for now so that I can keep this video under 10 minutes. But as you work through the module, let me know if you have any questions about anything, and I will be seeing you online.